After an entire year since Konami hosted their Silent Hill transmission, finally we're starting to see some of the fruits of these new Silent Hill products. And some look promising. Well, I mean, one does, doesn't it? Some are worrying, and others are either completely unannounced or just look bad. Like, terrible, actually. And today, we're going to be talking about one that falls into the latter. Terrible. Silent Hill Ascension just dropped a new trailer which contains some lore tidbits, a look at some of the new characters, and showing us the caliber of animation that we can expect to see from this experimental new entry to the franchise. Last time we spoke about this one, I had the cringe counter up, and we were all having fun pointing and laughing like medieval townsfolk in the crowd of a public tomatoing. Well, this time I'm going to run through everything that we know currently about Silent Hill Ascension, and then I'm going to do something that's just unprecedented for this channel. Okay? I'm going to moan, and I'm going to complain. So, what do we know about it? For starters, Silent Hill Ascension isn't a game. I've heard people compare it to a Telltale-style game or an Until Dawn clone, but it's actually more like a TV show, think Bandersnatch from Black Mirror, where the viewers are going to vote on various story elements and the community's majority vote will dictate the outcome. This can, and definitely will, lead to characters dying or being redeemed for the presumably shitty things that they've done in their past, and puzzles being solved or botched. The devs love saying things like, I mean, we don't even know how this is going to end.
And even we, the creators, don't know what will happen.
Which is, it's kind of a half-truth, but it sounds dramatic, so marketing, I guess. The series has its own app, which you can pre-install now on Android or iOS, where the episodes were going to be airing from. And if alarm bells aren't already ringing, then you must be new to Konami's unique brand of bullshit. Or you can watch on the official website Ascension.com. In fact, Sony recently announced that they will be having the weekly episodes available to watch on the consoles as well, but sadly you're not going to be able to actually take part in the voting or puzzling. So you guys who are watching on console are basically going to be watching the finished product from trolls, who have gone out of their way to choose the most ridiculous options and get everyone killed, I imagine. They said they had something in place to stop that, but I'm pretty sure it's going to happen. Every day, a piece of a full episode will go live for viewers to watch and interact with, and by the end of the week, a full episode can be viewed, with all the choices made. I saw one of the devs on Twitter, still not calling it X, reckon that the episodes are about 50 minutes each, so expect around 7 to 8 minutes to view each day if you're going to watch it live. The general story takes us to, and I quote, a troubled Rust Belt town in Pennsylvania called Hope's Junction, rebuilding itself after a fatal steel mill accident decimated its economy. The series will center on a resident of Hope's Junction named Rachel Hernandez, who is responsible for the steel mill accident. Ascension will also tell an intertwined story of a dying fishing village in Norway and the Johansson family, who find their lives upended when their matriarch Ingrid dies under suspicious circumstances. And now that we're all caught up, that's nice, isn't it? Now time to complain. The previous trailer was pretty heavy on showing us the monsters in full light for everyone to see, warts and all, but this time Genvid had a stab at trying to hook us with some narrative and character dialogue. Has it gripped me? No, it hasn't. In fact, I think this is actually probably worse than the previous trailer, or more damning than the previous trailer. The trailer starts with some spooky shots of the town accompanied by a voiceover which sounds as though it could either be a police interrogation or some sort of therapy session. Either way, their first question is,
did you kill your son?
And it's like, steady on there, mate. What happened to the read technique? You haven't even posed the alternate question. I've watched enough JCS to know that that's not how you're going to get a confession out of someone. And then we have a female character who I'm assuming is complaining about some sort of pseudo-religious ritual that she was trying to perform, and it didn't go right despite her doing everything correct and nothing wrong.
I did everything correctly.
And I couldn't help but think of someone else who's got a 15-year legacy on YouTube who might have been perfect for that role.
I did nothing wrong. I did everything correct. I did nothing wrong. And now I do nothing wrong. And my livelihood is now at stake for something I can't control, and I did nothing wrong.
Then we get nothing but generic tropey horror shots of creatures lurking in the dark, with audio stingers as they pass the character's peripheral vision, almost being caught. I mean, these are the kind of techniques that you expect to see in like a teen slasher movie. But then again, I suppose this is rated T for teen, so I guess the shoe fits. What happened to Silent Hill being 18 rated? I mean, it's like, guys, how do we maximize on profits from a horror franchise? I know, let's make it really woke. That's really been successful for everyone else. No, it hasn't. There's a bunch more shots of monsters coming out the forest, some close encounters, and even the man with the softest punch in horror. The whole vibe of this trailer just feels distinctly un-Silent Hill to me, much like the last did. And I really hate it when fans of the series say things like that, which in my eyes are completely justified complaints, and people return with, Silent Hill fans are the worst, most ungrateful people ever, as if we wanted to hate our own favourite horror game coming back into relevancy. No, that isn't the mentality at all, and nor is it true. I mean, just look how receptive people have been to the Silent Hill F trailer, for example. What we all want is for the atmosphere, the tone, and the feeling that those early 4 games gave us, where everything was dreamlike and understated, and the horror wasn't just right in front of you all the time, but instead it properly tapped into the psychological aspect of the psychological horror genre. Unfortunately, that takes a very certain style of storytelling, pacing, and artistic flair. Ascension definitely seems to have been written in a very American horror way, which naturally it would have, considering it is American made, but that's another reason Silent Hill took a left turn for me all those years ago, and it just feels like Konami have learnt nothing. Making the decision to outsource the game to Western studios and writers, it just lost its distinctly Japanese horror atmosphere. Back to this trailer though, if we are looking for positives, I think the music isn't terrible. Because as we know, our boy Yamaoka-san isn't making it. So I was quite curious to see what direction the music would go in, considering Akira Yamaoka's work is one of the most instantly recognizable elements of Silent Hill as a brand. The Ascension trailer features this sorrowful dissonance with an almost Resident Evil 2 save room piano over an echoey synth.
I did everything correctly.
That then sub-booms into a more typical style tension build-up you'd expect in a trailer for a gripping thriller or something.
Even Rad.
But that does get some melodic relief when the church organ starts riffing.
You've seen them, haven't you, Rachel? Visions.
And then we get the old familiar nightmarish industrial throbs and groans. I mean, it's not terrible, that's my point. I think it could have been a lot worse. There is some kind of effort to try and stay on brand, but I think the whole thing is just a bizarre way to kick off this reboot. Because in my humble opinion, I really think we should have just kicked off this whole thing with a game, like a really good, scary, 18 rated game. Not some animated experimental TV show thing. It's just... I think a live-action TV show could have been made if that's the direction they wanted to go in. I mentioned that in my Return to Silent Hill video. If you haven't seen that, put a little link at the top there, because that's a whole other box of frogs. Because we really need a great Silent Hill to come out the gate swinging. A bit harder than that. I really wish I was excited for Ascension. I absolutely don't want it to be embarrassing. Remember, this is a free-to-watch show. This is going to have thousands of people watching who never grew up with the games. So their first impression of our favourite foggy town is important in captivating a huge market of new fans. Because guys, we need the money and we need the clout coming in for Konami. Otherwise, they're just going to pull the plug and put Silent Hill to sleep again for God knows how long. And Lord knows when we could even get it back, if ever. I mean, best case scenario is they sell the IP to someone who just knows what the fuck they're doing. If you could chuck me a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, leave me a comment and let me know what you think about Ascension. Are you excited? Huh? And I'll see ya when I'm looking at you. Thank you very much for watching, guys.